The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest the week of January 13 to 17 will be explosive on so many fronts. First off, Claire Newman's suspicions about her Aunt Jordan being out on the loose will be confirmed. Fans may recall that during the Friday, January 10 episode, Claire had an uneasy feeling while at the coffee house when Esther Valentine read out an oolong tea order that was the exact same way her aunt would take the beverage. As the order was very detailed in the way the tea was to be served up, Claire couldn't help but feel weird about it. While she relayed what happened to Nikki Newman after she got back to the Chancellor offices, her grandmother tried to fluff it off. After all, Jordan was in prison, and Victor Newman was keeping tight security around the family, so she had nothing to worry about. Fast forward to the week of January 13 to 17, and Y&R's weekly preview suggests that Jordan will get busted at Crimson once again by Claire. She'll be waiting in line behind Jordan scrolling her phone, and once Jordan grabs her order and thanks the server, Claire will immediately recognize the voice and call her aunt out. As the days go by, Claire will inform Nikki and Victoria Newman about the incident, but will they believe her? Will they bring Victor into the loop? That's hard to say. However, once the Friday, January 17 episode hits, it sounds as if Claire and Jordan will engage in a fierce face-off. After all, Claire will issue her aunt a threat, and she'll likely mean business. There's a chance that Jordan tries to kidnap Claire, or Claire simply runs into her aunt and corners her herself. Regardless, Claire is over the fear and intimidation she once felt from her aunt. Jordan stole so many happy years from her that she's not going to allow her to take any more. Now that Claire is living her best life as a Newman, not to mention being in a hot romance with Kyle Abbott, the only fear she has is moving backward. Could Claire and Jordan end up getting into a physical fight? They'll likely get into a sparring of words, but if Jordan threatens Claire's freedom in any way, shape, or form, she'll strike back. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Claire didn't come this far just to come this far. Whatever the circumstance behind their face-off, Claire will move mountains to stop Jordan for good, not only for herself, but for the safety of her family. Could this mean that Claire crosses a line and is behind Jordan's demise? Hey everyone, welcome back to Radiant Serum. I'm Aubrey, and I hope your day is shining bright. Thank you for joining me. Let's jump right into today's video. The Young and the Restless update for Tuesday, January 14 indicates some major moments that are about to go down in the land of Genoa City, so it's time to dive into the drama. From the looks of it, it sounds like Sharon Newman's situation will take a more dangerous turn, and things are looking pretty bleak as it is. Sharon is chained up in a sewage basement somewhere in town, with her resource rations dwindling, so how much worse can things get? The clock is definitely ticking for Sharon, so here's hoping that she can figure a way out. Still, maybe she won't need to. Y&R spoilers for Tuesday, January 14 imply that Nick Newman will develop a theory about his ex-wife's disappearance, so if he can connect the dots accurately enough, he may be able to be the hero in her story once more. Added teasers reveal that he'll share his theory with Chancellor, so it sounds like Nick believes Ian Ward is behind things. Can these two work together to bring Sharon home? Only time will tell. Across town, Chelsea Lawson and Victoria Newman will connect and realize they have a lot in common. Chelsea may open up to Vicky about her dilemma of moving to the Newman ranch, and as Victoria has dealt with co-parenting a child who is struggling with an ex, she might have some insight. Then again, maybe Chelsea's worried that moving in will trigger a reunion with Adam Newman, and what if it ends in disaster? Victoria just reunited with Cole Howard after being apart for years, and they are doing amazingly. Victoria may have some positive insights to bring to the conversation. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that whatever Victoria tells Chelsea during Tuesday's show might be the encouragement she needs to give both Connor Newman and Adam the okay to push the button on this Newman Ranch move. Audra's new personality is strikingly different from her former self on The Young and the Restless. She's gotten sweeter and softer since she started dating Nate. Is she a new person, or will she go back to her old ways? When she first traveled to Genoa City, Audra was a cutthroat woman with a mission. She climbed the ranks of the corporate world and fought tooth and nail with every Tom, Dick, and Harry in town. But she hasn't had much luck. Instead, Audra has embraced the slower-paced life with Nate by her side. She's no longer the Black Widow she once was. Nate helped open up Audra's cold heart. However, that bad girl is still there. She admitted that she was against the concept of marriage. She didn't hold back at Abby's and Devon's wedding. Still, she cares about what people think of her. This was proven when Audra spent time with Nate's family at Thanksgiving. She doesn't have anyone to take down or confront these days. This has mellowed her out. Plus, Audra's been enjoying Nate's company, which helped calm her down. As you can see, Audra hasn't lost her edge entirely. Nate only softened her. This could be a good thing for her character development. It's nice for my and our fans to see this softer side of her. There's more to Audra than steamy romps and corporate alliances. However, this side of her might only come out because she's unemployed. Audra is not in girl boss mode because no company wants her. Nate's brother Damian could bring this back out of her. Damian is seeking the perfect investment. This is Audra's playbook. She might still have success and ambition on her mind. This could motivate her to return to her old ways to help out Damian. The two could secretly team up behind Nate's back. Who knows what else could happen? So far, Audra is happy with Nate. She's comfortable having this grounding presence in her life. That could all change when she meets Damian. She might find the bad boy more alluring and exciting. The January 13 episode of The Young and the Restless made it clear that Connor is a real Newman. Sure, he's got some Adam in him, but now we have proof positive that he is really just Victor Redux. Victor is the center of all life in Genoa City, as it should be. He controls his wife, he controls his kids, he controls people he has no business controlling. Then, whenever he goes too far, which is about once a year, and Nikki or Victoria or Nicholas or Adam, or even the one he regularly forgets, Abby, call Victor out on his behavior and make it seem like they won't be swallowing everything he has to say without question, Victor conveniently has a health scare, and then they all come rushing back to his side to apologize for ever doubting him and to beg him to please, please, please stay with them. They could never leave without his wisdom, counsel, and, of course, love. From the time Connor returned to Genoa City with Chelsea, he has pushed for his parents to get back together. Then, on the January 13 episode, Connor suddenly changed his tune. What do Adam and Chelsea think? That he's some little kid who spends all his time dreaming of a mommy and daddy reunion. Pshaw, nothing could be further from the truth. But now that they've dragged it out of him, he's been feeling a little down lately. Do you know what would turn his frown upside down? If Chelsea were to move into Adam and Connor's new home. Not so that his parents could reconnect, but so that, in case Connor's OCD was to flare up again, he'd have his beloved mother and his dear father together to help him work through his woe. Wouldn't that be nice? Then Connor returned to the small, cramped, non-joy-producing apartment he is currently forced to share with his mother. Victoria, Nick, and Adam often debate who Victor's favorite child is. They argue about who is the most like him, but stand back, pretenders to the throne. We have seen the real Victor Hare, and he is Connor Newman. All bow down before this tiny Victor clone, and beware. For the Tuesday, January 14 episode of The Young and the Restless, spoilers photos show Sharon suffering, Nick plotting, and Claire running into Jordan again. Sharon is in serious danger, and she's starting to panic. She's chained up in that dark dungeon, and Ian wants her dead. Sharon needs a hero, and fast. Will Nick find her in time? Is that really him in the room? Or is he just another figment of Sharon's imagination? At the same time, Nick meets up with Summer and Chance at Society. Nick shares his theory with the town's top cop and hopes he's right. He's in a race against the clock, and he doesn't want anyone, especially the police force, to waste a minute. As for Ian, Ward, and Jordan, they hole up at the hotel while they make their grand plans for the day. Every move they make now has to be swift, smart, and calculated. One wrong step and it could mean landing back in the big house. Later, Jordan dons one of her famous disguises and travels around town. She stops in at Crimson Lights for a shot of caffeine and, as luck would have it, a run-in with her niece. Will Claire finally recognize the mystery woman? And if so, will Jordan jump to silence her? Meanwhile, Victoria and Chelsea meet up at the jazz club for a chat. Teasers show that it's during this talk that these ladies find some common ground. They've never been close before, but this talk could change their dynamics. The Young and the Restless recap for Monday, January 13, reveals that Nate learns a surprising secret about Nate. Plus, Chelsea and Adam discuss a major change, while Summer isn't thrilled about Claire and Kyle. Find out what happened in Genoa City. Nate and Audra returned to his penthouse, and she complained about the rough journey. Nate was sorry about how he left things with Damian. Audra reassured him it was out of his hands. Nate worried that opening up too much to Damian might have backfired. They discussed Nate's emotional baggage from the trip and joked about Audra's shopping spree with Amy. Nate mentioned Amy's health condition and how she refused his help, and he worried she didn't have much time left. Trying to lighten the mood, Audra had Nate massage her feet and steered the evening toward intimacy. Later, Nate got a message from Damian, who planned to visit to learn more about Winters. Nate told Audra, and she felt confident he could sway Damian. However, a call from Denise revealed that Damian secretly owned the companies Nate had been working with. Parent trap? Adam met with Chelsea and Connor at Crimson Lights. Connor shared that he'd been struggling with obsessive thoughts and sleepless nights. He didn't want them to know what triggered him. Eventually, Connor admitted his worry about moving to a new place, particularly his new room's light switches, which fed into his OCD. Adam offered to cancel the move, but Connor insisted on facing the challenge to grow stronger. He then suggested Chelsea move to the ranch, emphasizing it wasn't about reuniting his parents, but about his comfort. While Chelsea was hesitant, Adam assured her it could help Connor heal, promising to respect her boundaries. Chelsea agreed to consider it, making clear her decision would prioritize Connor's needs. At the Abbott mansion, Kyle and Claire discussed telling Harrison about their relationship. Kyle agreed it was time. Meanwhile, Summer arrived and delighted Harrison, who eagerly shared a storybook with her. When Kyle and Claire joined them, Harrison embraced them warmly, but realized his mom acted strange around them. During dinner, Claire gently explained to Harrison that it might be hard for someone to see others move on. Harrison innocently asked if they were getting married, and Kyle clarified they weren't there yet, but might spend more time together. Harrison asked for more family breakfasts. Later, Kyle reassured his son that his mom would always be there for him, even as new people joined their lives. After tucking Harrison in, Kyle expressed gratitude for Claire, though they both agreed that Summer wasn't comfortable with their relationship. Summer met Chance at Society for dinner. Despite his efforts to lighten the mood, she remained distracted, confessing her frustration with Claire's growing presence in Kyle and Harrison's lives. She insisted she wasn't jealous, but Summer resented Claire's intrusion. Chance empathized, but reminded her that divorce often brings challenges. After all, he's been through it with Devin and Abby. He reassured her that she would always have a special place in Harrison's life, encouraging her to focus on their bond. The Young and the Restless spoilers find Nate Hastings guilt-ridden for not coming clean to Damian. But his half-brother himself isn't that innocent. You'll soon know why. Next, Adam begs Chelsea to make Newman Ranch her permanent home and gets Connor involved. And guess what? Sharon fights to escape a harrowing ordeal while Claire faces Jordan at last. Nate Hastings and Audra Charles are back from Lay, per the Young and the Restless spoilers. Their little adventure couldn't free them from the baggage, and now Nate's guilt is eating him alive. Additionally, he questions whether he should have been honest with Damian about being his half-brother. But hold up for the real twist. Nate gets a text from Pi Denise Tolliver, revealing Damian's shady connection to Monte Cristo Investments. The company he worked in and the roof under which he lived were owned by him only. What will Nate do with this startling nugget of information? Meanwhile, Adam Newman is still pleading with Chelsea Lawson to move in with him. She's on the fence about the proposal until their son Connor sweet-talks her into considering it. The boy is struggling with his OCD, and he thinks having Chelsea by his side will make him feel safe. Later, a heart-to-heart with Victoria Newman could make Chelsea feel at home. In addition, Y and R spoilers reveal that Chelsea's announcement will take Adam by surprise. Is it finally a yes from her side? Over to the sewage. Sharon is pinching her nose as she survives another hour in the living nightmare. The smell of the gutter and dwindling resources is pushing her sanity to the edge. Across town, Nick Newman and Chancellor are putting in long hours to crack the case and save Sharon in time. Will they succeed? Elsewhere, Victor Newman sniffs out one of Ian Ward's many lies. Next, Billy Abbott makes an unusual decision, thanks to Phyllis Summers' constant badgering. Has he backed down from the revenge plot against Victor? During the week of January 13 to 17, Claire Newman will spot Jordan at Crimson Lights, but won't tell Victor about it. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that trouble is brewing between Ian and Jordan. The two recently emerged as a really formidable villainous duo, very much capable of disrupting the Newmans and the Abbotts. However, it seems that cracks are beginning to show in their partnership. In a recent episode, Jordan told Ian that she feels as though her needs aren't being met. She was perhaps talking about her need for revenge against Victor and Nikki. The Young and the Restless spoilers also revealed that she is struggling to wrap her head around the fact that Claire has now become a part of the Newman clan. Recently, Jordan saw Claire romancing Kyle Abbott and could not stand it. We have a feeling that Jordan wants to steal Claire away and once again brainwash her into hating the Newmans. This time, also the Abbotts. The latest Y and R preview video shows Aunt Jordan going to Crimson Lights in disguise and ordering her special coffee right in Claire's earshot. As soon as she receives her order, she says thank you to her server. Claire instantly recognizes the voice and gasps, "Jordan." Her aunt hears her but chooses not to engage and hurriedly walks out. We are certain that Claire will follow right behind. Is this what Jordan is counting on? Did Jordan intentionally do this to lay out a trap to lure Claire? If so, then there is a very high chance that we'll see Claire kidnapped next week. But what are Jordan's true intentions here? Does she really want to take Claire away and try to turn her against her family again? Or could her intentions be more sinister than that? We guess we'll have to wait and find out. After so many disappointments and setbacks in both her love life and career, everything's finally coming up roses for young and restless Sally Spectra, or is it? Life's been a roller coaster ride for Sally Spectra since she hit Genoa City. As seems to be the way with everyone in the town in recent years, she's jumped from one job to the next, but her love life has been equally unstable. Worse, she suffered the agonizing loss of her baby with Adam, which was undoubtedly her lowest point. Despite that crushing blow, and another round of gaslighting and heartbreak thanks to Adam betting his ex-wife Chelsea, Sally has come back stronger than ever, and dare we say rebounded into a romance with Billy, the man she commiserated with over the cheating. Whatever works. As Sally continues to slay at Marchetti, a cushy work assignment has come up that will send her off to Paris, and given that it's the city of love, she plans to mix her business with a little pleasure. Billy, for his part, has agreed to put his man Angst on hold to accompany her. But wait, young and restless spoilers tell us Billy's about to make a shocking decision. Wouldn't it be something if Billy announces that he's decided to let go of Chancellor, end his vendetta against Victor, and mend fences with his mother, Jill? With both Sally and his ex, Chelsea, counseling him against continuing this probably futile battle, it's certainly a possibility. Billy could then go off to Paris and just relax, right? Wrong. There's one person who ain't gonna let this vendetta go, and she won't let Billy let it go either. That would be Phyllis, who has pledged to her children that she's going to leave the Sharon legal mess to the authorities amid the latter's recent disappearance. In order to do this, she needs a focus. That focus, as she's stated, is going to be teaming with Billy to take back Chancellor from Victor. Unsurprisingly, young and restless spoilers indicate that Phyllis will grill Billy after his shocking decision and demand that he come clean. When he tells her why he's backing away from their battle, she'll be horrified to hear that he's heading overseas for a romantic tryst with fellow redhead Sally and set about trying to talk him out of it. Whether Billy ever actually makes it to Paris with Sally remains to be seen. If he does, we wouldn't put it past Phyllis to show up on the Champs-Élysées in big black sunglasses and a beret in hopes of luring her partner in crime back to Genoa City. She's gone to some pretty extreme lengths to scuttle romantic trips before, just ask Cricket. And we've no doubt she'd be able to pull it off again. Nate and Audra arrive at his penthouse as she complains about the bumpy ride from Le and the airport. He admits that he hated leaving things the way he did with Damian. She points out that he laid the groundwork. Now it's up to Damian to decide if he wants to get to know him better. When Nate offers her electrolytes so she won't get jet lag, she says she'd rather have a cocktail. They discuss how he approached Damian, and he wonders if he's mishandled it. Audra reminds Nate that he can still go to Damian with the truth. Hastings worries about scaring him off. He's decided to give it a couple of days. If he doesn't hear from his brother, he will consider telling him the truth. Once Audra gets her cocktail, Nate wonders how she and Amy managed to squeeze in so much shopping. Audra says Amy is good people, and it breaks her heart to see how tired she is. Nate hasn't seen her medical records, and she hasn't been forthcoming about her condition. There's no way they can know how much time she has left. All he can do is try to help her with her son. Kicking off her shoes, she gets him to rub her feet. Nate's happy to show her how grateful he is for her coming to Le to support him. He doesn't think he should be so surprised to see her caring about his family after she teared up at dinner a few weeks ago. Nate's seen her get misty-eyed with Amy too. Audra admits she's a bit of a sucker for people trying to heal their familial relationships. Nate finds that touching. Done with all the sentimental stuff, Audra tells Nate she wants to be truly touched somewhere else, above the ankles. He doesn't need to be asked twice. They make out on the couch before heading to the bedroom where they undress and climb into bed. Adam joins Connor and Chelsea at Crimson Lights. Before Chelsea can explain why they called him, Connor insists on going first. He says the light switch in his bedroom had him up most of the night. He kept getting up to check it every 15 minutes. Connor says he's fine when his father asks if he's okay. The teen assures his parents that he's not back to wanting to hurt himself. Since they had so much to deal with already, he didn't want to bother them with this. His parents remind him that he is their son and comes first. They will deal with any problem he has as a family. Connor explains he's been using the tools he acquired to deal with his OCD and will be meeting with a doctor to see if his meds need adjusting. That all sounds good to his father. Chelsea and Adam assure him that he's got this and doesn't have to go through this alone. When they wonder what could have triggered it, he says he knows but doesn't want to tell them because they won't like it. Chelsea and Adam point out that they can't help if Connor doesn't tell them honestly what's bothering him. The kid admits he's anxious about his father moving. Adam thought he was excited to spend more time at the ranch with the horses and ponds. Connor says he loves all that but is worried about the lights in the bedroom. His father offers to make sure he has the lights he wants. Connor explains that a house in the country is different from being surrounded by people there. His parents remind him that the Newman compound is filled with people. Chelsea tells him that if he doesn't want to move, she's sure his father will understand. Adam agrees and offers to cancel the move. Connor doesn't want that. He needs to face the things that scare him, otherwise the OCD wins. He's determined to push through and get stronger. Things get a bit awkward when Connor suggests that having his mom move to the ranch too would help. He assures that he's not trying to get them back together, but it would help if she was around when he has a flare-up of his OCD. Getting up, Connor announces he's going to game and heads out. Kyle and Claire meet up at Society and discuss talking to Harrison about their relationship. His parents urged him to do this sooner rather than later. She wonders how he feels about that. The only thing Kyle is worried about is upsetting his son. Claire has spent enough time with his son to recognize how intuitive he is. There's a good chance that he's already figured things out, so they decide there's no sense in delaying this. No sooner has Summer walked into the Abbott manse than Harrison leaps over to see her. She left work early and suggests they go out for hot chocolate or ice cream. He suggests frozen hot chocolate like Mrs. Martinez makes instead. Then he can read her a book he wrote. She says she'd love that and hugs him. Harrison brings out Goldilocks and the Four Bears and reads it to her. She giggles as he does all the voices until Kyle and Claire arrive. He rushes over and hugs them. Claire's impressed by how big the hug is. Just as big as the one I gave my mom, he laughs. Summer frowns. She explains she just came by to spend quality time with the little man. Kyle announces that he and Claire are there to have an important conversation with Harrison. He assures his son it will be fun. Everything with Claire is fun for Harrison. Summer looks put out and immediately exits, looking back in through the grate in the door for a moment. Kyle and Claire take Harrison into the dining room and tell him that they have gotten close. He knows and he's happy about it, but his mom acts funny when they are together. Claire explains that it can be hard for someone to see the person they used to be with someone new. "Are you two getting married?" Harrison asks. After laughing, his father explains they aren't there yet. They like to spend time together, and sometimes Claire may spend the night if it gets late. His son knows she did on New Year's because he could hear them having a lot of fun. Kyle gets embarrassed. Claire asks if it would be okay if she stayed for more sleepovers. It's okay with him if they can have pancakes before he goes to school. Kyle, Claire, and Harrison return to the main room and read a book on dinosaurs together, and they assure the boy that his mom will always love him and be there for him. After they have tucked him in, Claire says Harrison seems to have given them his blessing. Kyle says they are both lucky to have her and kisses her. She wishes Summer was okay with it. He's sure she will get past it. At Crimson Lights, Chesley thanks Adam for stepping in while she was in the hot seat. Adam admits that he thinks what their son asked for made a lot of sense. That makes her suspect he put this thought in their son's head. When Adam defends himself, Chelsea backs down and tells him she's grateful they are co-parenting their son. He admits that he still wants to reconcile with her. Besides, it is a huge house. She would have plenty of her own space, and he would respect all of her boundaries. Chelsea reminds Adam that neither of them excel at doing that. He points out that she loves the property. They've given up a lot to help their son heal already. If living together at the ranch would help, shouldn't they consider it at least? Chelsea can hear what he and their son are saying and says she'll think about it. Adam's confident she will do what's best for their son and will respect whatever choice she makes. "I don't want you thinking for a second this is an opportunity for the two of us to get back together," she cautions. He nods and they smile. Summer and Chance meet up at Society. He has already ordered all of her favorites for her and even wore her favorite shirt. Things are pretty awkward and she admits she's not totally there. The detective worries she's regretting having dinner with him. Summer assures him she's glad they are doing this and doesn't want to spoil it. Chance would love to listen if she has something on her mind. She tries to change the subject to work, and he changes it to Harrison. This doesn't go well, so he suggests they say what's actually on their minds. Chance knows it might be tough for them to talk about, but he fills her in about Sharon going missing and her car being found. They both hope that she's found. When Chance asks what's bothering Summer, she says it seems petty compared to all that. She admits she's really over Claire pushing herself in Kyle and Harrison's lives. They just kicked her out of the house to have a conversation with him about becoming a couple. The cop points out she's always had an issue with Claire. It seems like she's jealous of her cousin. Summer doesn't care who Kyle dates, as long as it's not Audra. She doesn't worry about Claire hurting her son, but also doesn't like the way she's positioned herself. It is already really hard not living with her son, and it is only a matter of time until Claire is. Chance gets how hard this must be, but it's what happens when people get divorced. They move on and make new families. Summer always be Harrison's mom, and she won't lose him to anyone. At Nate's place after sex, he jogs down to grab some alcohol when he notices that Damian has already sent him a message. He guesses that he made an impression after all. When he returns to Audra, they have a toast, and he fills her in on his brother getting in touch, eager to learn all about Winters. She's so happy for him. Nate admits he had his doubts, but Audra says she was sure that he'd win him over. They make out some more. A message comes in for him and then another. She suggests he check and grabs his phone for him. It's a message from Denise. She did some more digging, and it turns out that Damian is the silent owner of both the companies he works for. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 2 weeks are here. From January 13 to 24, 2025, fans can expect Claire Grace Newman to go missing. Sharon Newman is in a deadly battle for her life. Meanwhile, Damian keeps a secret from Nate Hastings. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Damian's secret. E&R spoilers for the week of January 13 reveal that Nate and Audra Charles will return to Genoa City. Nate didn't tell Damian about their real connection. Instead, Nate gave Damian a cover story. Audra will tell Nate that he needs to just be honest with Damian. After Nate comes home from Los Angeles, he will get an interesting update from Denise Tolliver. It turns out that Damian is actually the owner of Monte Cristo Investments. Next week, Adam Newman continues trying to get Chelsea Lawson to move in with him. Adam will use Connor Newman's OCD triggers to make his case. Connor will tell Chelsea that he would feel more secure sleeping at night if both of his parents were there. Later, Chelsea finds common ground with Victoria Newman. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of January 13 reveal that Sharon will continue trying to find a way out. Sharon saw a crowbar, but it was just out of her reach. Now Sharon is also hallucinating Cameron Kirsten. Meanwhile, Nick Newman shares a new theory with Chance Chancellor. Victor Newman finds out about Ihan Ward's deception. With Claire spotting Jordan, Victor will connect the dots pretty quickly. As for Claire, she alerts Victoria and Nikki Newman to the fact that Jordan is in town. Also, Billy Abbott makes a shocking decision. By and R spoilers, next 2 weeks. During the week of January 20, 2025, Claire faces off with Jordan. In fact, Claire issues a threat to her evil haunt. Now, when Claire calls Jordan's name in the coffee shop, the villain doesn't act worried or even scared. Jordan is smiling as she makes a quick exit. So Jordan might be setting Claire up for a trap. Could Claire end up going missing? There should also be an update on Sharon's dilemma. Can Sharon be saved before it's too late? The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Ihan Ward is a most despicable human being. His first known victim, Newman, thinks he is not part of the human race, which isn't far from wrong. Ian is pushing his reverent act while directing Jordan Howard to kill Sharon Newman after that murderous pairing ended Heather Stevens' life. The depths of Ian's immorality are too deep to measure while he continues to sink lower. Victor Newman told Michael Baldwin to get rid of Ian, with little subtext implied. Maria Copeland told the man who helped steal her from Sharon that she would kill him if he didn't do as commanded. But Victor and Mariah are the only two people who want Ian dead. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Victor Newman can make it happen. Nikki and Nick Newman are concerned that Victor will get carried away. They know he is compelled to protect the Newman family, which makes him vulnerable to becoming a suspect. Ian claims to have written a letter telling the authorities Victor is a threat in case he meets a strange fate. That bit of dialogue felt like foreshadowing in and of itself. Victor's open comments to Michael about Ian let the audience know that some outcome will be realized, likely sooner rather than later. So, fans hope as little destruction as possible is exacted before Ian is dealt with. Why and are spoilers. Maria Copeland is motivated. Maria was already set off. She was stunned to see the man who stole her childhood from her grasping Tessa Porter outside of society. Ian's claim that he may have saved Tessa's life doesn't add up. Yet, none of the participants knew Ian drugged Tessa so that he could administer his antidote. The moment Maria realizes Ian is involved in Sharon's kidnapping, it will be the same point in the plot when Grimes' character becomes a real threat to his life. She was already prepared to silence him because of his proximity to her family. The second soapy information drop will instantly make Maria a candidate to remove him from the earth. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Jordan Howard kills two birds. Killing two birds with one stone is a Kleitsch idiom, but it can be applied to this storyline. Jordan was stunned by Ian's desire to want to release her from the prison the Newman family put her in. She was initially grateful that he had created an identity switch, which made it happen. However, time and the pressure of their mounting crimes have turned Jordan from Ian's ally to an embittered enemy. That is a factor that makes her another suspect if he's found dead, and the audience hasn't witnessed his execution. However, a second element makes Jordan the most likely to kill him. She's a secondary character and a villain. Her runway was short from the moment viewers saw her return. Having Jordan kill Ian would fulfill the feeling that Ian's a goner and allow someone who isn't a main character to take the fall this winter. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that Sally Spectra and Billy Abbott are headed off for a romantic getaway. What could go wrong? Actually, Phyllis Summers could go sideways and ruin the fun times for Silly. The two women are not exactly on the same page regarding Billy's scheme to get even with Victor Newman. Sally presented the trip as a way to remove Billy's mind from revenge, but Phyllis has other ideas. Phyllis wants to crush Victor and can't wait to get started. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Red wants to crush Victor Newman. Phyllis wants to get her mind off of the troubles with Sharon Newman, and turning her revenge to Victor seems like a good plan to her. But with Sally whispering in Billy's ear, will he decide to back down and please Sally? When Sally heads off for the trip, she is also on official Marchetti business for her boss, Summer Newman, who is Phyllis' daughter. I and R spoilers. Will Red fly away? If Summer lets Red know that Billy and Sally are headed to Paris and where they are staying, we could see Red taking advantage of that info. She is very determined, as fans well know. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Silly need time alone. But what if Phyllis is also on a personal mission? If she thinks that Billy might propose to Sally in Paris, she would not like that idea. Phyllis doesn't think that Sally is the perfect mate for Billy, and we all know that thinks her opinion is the only correct one. Phyllis could convince herself that she is helping Billy by interfering in his romance. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Will Phyllis Summers interfere where she's not wanted? Explosive the Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Phyllis may get into some trouble in the coming days, and it may be with Sally and Billy. After all, she and Billy were once close, and old feelings may be resurfacing in Phyllis. Although that would be a mistake because Billy slept with Summer while he was involved with her mom. Tell us why and our fans. Do you like Silly as a couple? And how far do you think that Phyllis would go if she thinks that Billy is ready to propose marriage? The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease Jordan plans to abduct Claire. In Friday's episode, Claire Newman became curious at the coffee house when she heard a crimson order that reminded her of what Jordan used to order. The Young and the Restless spoilers, good news arrived. Claire was also greeted with Kyle Abbott's good news, who felt it was the right moment to tell Harrison Abbott that he and Claire were officially together. The Y&R preview for January 13 to 17 featured a video snippet of Jordan back at Crimson Lights with Claire in the background. As Jordan receives her coffee, she expresses her gratitude, but Claire seizes the moment to call out her name just as Jordan turns to leave. This interaction hints at the possibility that Jordan might be plotting something against Claire. Given her disdain for Claire's romance with Kyle, it's likely that once she ensnares her niece, her first move will be to sabotage that relationship. I&R spoilers. Jordan Howard will likely make sure to chloroform Claire. Jordan is bound to devise a plan to keep Claire unconscious. She might resort to the same chloroform method that proved effective with Sharon Newman. With Claire's phone likely in her possession, Jordan will begin sending a few texts to ensure no one is searching for her. In Friday's episode, Claire and Kyle discuss their plans to meet at society after work, making him her first target to deal with. It's possible that Kyle could message Claire during the window between their scheduled meeting and Jordan's abduction. This would lead Jordan to discover that they are having dinner and planning to inform Harrison about their relationship. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Jordan Howard fake breaks up with Kyle Abbott as Claire Grace. This presents a fantastic chance for Jordan, posing as Claire, to express her unease about taking this significant leap. Jordan could craft the narrative to suggest that Claire isn't quite prepared for such a serious commitment, potentially leading to Claire breaking things off with Kyle via text. At the same time, Jordan might cleverly stall for time by messaging Victoria Newman, claiming she's spending the night at Kyle's place. Y&R spoilers. Kyle Abbott and Summer Newman one-nighter grief sex? Could the two become too emotional and cross a boundary? How hurt will Claire be if she discovers that Kyle didn't hesitate to be with Summer right after their breakup? However, Claire might have bigger issues to deal with as she tries to escape Jordan, so this concern can wait. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that Jordan's return to Crimson could be a trap for Claire. Will she succeed in keeping her grandniece captive, and for how long? This situation is bound to create significant turmoil, not just for Claire and Kyle, but also for Victoria and the rest of the Newmans. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.